let's do it, man. It's time to lock them motherfucking gates. Let's turn this up.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Hey, it's your boy E. Will. We back with another episode of the Lock the Gates podcast. Now, look, I wanted to get to y'all, man, on some stuff that I seen online yesterday about Hassan Reddick, Xavier Howard being a cap casualty for the Miami Dolphins. But first, I'm going to touch on this Super Bowl last night. Now, look, I'm going to be honest. I can't stand Patrick Mahomes, but he's approaching GOAT status. I'm not going to lie to y'all. Last night, the 49ers had the game won to me. Okay, you go up 10-0. Really, they should have been up more than that. But they just let Kansas City hang around, man. Every time you let Kansas City hang around, they're going to bite you. Either you're going to put them down early or you're going to find yourself in a battle come late in the game. And, I mean, Brock Purdy, I hate to say this. Brock Purdy is Ryan Tannehill. I said it. Ryan Tannehill, for the Titans, was doing the exact same stuff Brock Purdy. And don't get me wrong, Brock Purdy didn't turn the ball over like that last night, but I just feel like the 49ers offense is very, very limited with Brock Purdy. You have to run it a certain type of way or you're done. You're done. And it just made me think about my team, man, with Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill gave us good play, but in the postseason, when teams knew you was going to run Derrick Henry 25 times and they stuff in that hole, Ryan Tannehill was a non-factor for us. And you can say, he didn't have the best weapons and all of this, but, man, let's be honest. Tannehill was putting up numbers during the regular season. But when it was postseason time and it got serious for us, nah. People already knew we're going to make Ryan Tannehill beat us and he can't do it. Flat out, period. And I was one of them people that I love my team to death, love my Titans to death. But I already knew, man, hey, if it come to a shootout passing that ball, we done. We were done. So, look, Brock Purdy, good young quarterback, but to me, he a system quarterback, man. And Mahomes is just purely off script. He off script. He gonna make something happen. If that play ain't working, it break down, he gonna pull somebody's ass and he gonna get it to the end zone. That's just who he is. And I'm about ready to put Andy Reid up there as like one of the greatest coaches of all time. I'm serious. I mean, not just from what he did with Kansas City, but if you go back to Andy Reid time in Philly, he always had him in the NFC Championship game. Took Philly to the Super Bowl. I mean, Andy Reid approaching GOAT status. I mean, and I seen some stuff today on YouTube that was pretty much, talking about what has the Chiefs winning the Super Bowl, showed the Titans. I don't know what it showed the Titans, but I can tell you what it showed me. It showed me that with a franchise quarterback, anything is possible. Anything is possible when you have a franchise quarterback. Now, I'm not saying you finna put him out there with a YMCA squad. That's not what I'm saying. But I tell you this, everything don't have to be perfect for Patrick Mahomes. It ain't got to be perfect. You give Patrick Mahomes an inch, and he can pull it out. And that's what we need Will Levis to be. It can't be perfect. It's not going to always be perfect around Will. The game plan you go in a game with, it's not always going to be perfect. It's not always going to work. You're going to have to change on the fly. But I need Will Levis to have that gene in him where he like, man, no matter what, we gonna get to the land. Man, that's all we need, man. I just hope Will Levis, I hope and pray that he's our franchise quarterback. Because right now, nobody in the league is really messing with Patrick Mahomes, man. The only person who you can put face to face with Patrick Mahomes and say he goes heads up with Patrick Mahomes is Joe Burrow. Nobody else. Patrick Mahomes is daddy to everybody else. He's daddy to the 49ers now. He's beaten them twice in the Super Bowl. You know, he's daddy to Josh Allen. He daddy to the AFC pretty much right now. I hate to say that. Except for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is the only one that went in Arrowhead and took his team to the Super Bowl, past him. And I think Cincinnati could have did it again, to be honest, if Joe Burrow wouldn't have got hurt. But to everybody else right now, man, Patrick Mahomes is that guy. And, ooh, I hate to say it. Man, I hate to say it. But it's the truth. You know. But it ain't got to stay like that. We just need Will Levis to be the guy. And I think with Brian Callahan as our coach, the offensive mind, hey, we can make some stuff happen. We can definitely make some stuff happen. Now, look, I've been kind of watching what's going on in the NFL. I seen a post yesterday talking about the Philadelphia Eagles have granted Hassan Reddick permission to go seek a trade. And I was thinking to myself, man, you know, when are the Tennessee Titans going to ever, capitalize on some of these guys that's just growing in their franchises? You know, last year, Derrick Henry was almost traded. Kevin Byard was traded. Tierre Tart, after his release, we let him walk. You know, it's just like, I wish that we could capitalize on some of these other guys that want out of their franchises and want new stars. You know, I heard that Xavier Howard is going to be a casualty, most likely this year. Now, look, Xavier Howard for the Miami Dolphins, I'm pretty sure y'all know who that is, defensive back, all-pro, has had his issues with injuries. I get it. I understand. But I will say this. We need a veteran presence in our locker room, defensive side of the ball. I love Jeff Simmons. But I mean a real veteran, 30-year-old veteran on the decent side of the ball in the locker room. You know, I feel like one of our best years that we had was when we had the Malcolm Butlers and the Janoris Jenkins. You know, sometimes they ain't got to be the best corners, but you need that veteran presence in the locker room. Now, a guy like Hassan Reddick, I'm not sure how much a guy like that would cost. You know, I'm hearing he might want upwards of $20 million a year or something like that. Now, I'm going to be honest with y'all, we got a lot of needs. I know we got a lot of needs all over the place. You know, receiver, you know, lineman. We already know the offensive line is bad. But I still believe, though, that you can plug and play a couple of those positions. But if you get a couple of key players in key spots, we can turn this thing around, man, by next year. I mean, I feel like a guy like Hassan Reddick coming off the edge, you know, you give us a pass rush. I always say, man, your pass rush don't have to, well, your secondary don't have to be that good if your pass rush is great. You know, and I'm going to be honest, we got by with that for a couple of years, having a good pass rush, and the secondary wasn't great, just good enough. You know, so I feel like we can get the pass rush back, because this year, man, we dropped off on pass rush. You know, and you know, we was in the middle of the pack with run defense this year, but let's be real, we was in the middle of the pack with run defense because teams just knew they could throw all over us. I mean, every quarterback we played was probably about 250, 300 yards every game, because we play that sit back, bend, but don't break defense. And yeah, we had great defense in the red zone, but that's kind of easy to do too, because you working with a smaller field. You know, you working with small space. You know, and that works for us. But at the end of the day, man, I feel like if we go out and get key players for key spots, the Titans will be in a way better position next year. You know, I mean, we could really do some stuff, man, in a hurry. I seen the Super Bowl odds for next year come out. Got the Titans almost at the bottom. We down there with the Commanders. We down there with the New York Giants. I think the only two teams that's under us is Carolina, and I can't remember who the other team was, but it was Carolina and somebody that was up under us. So they basically saying we like bottom 5 team in the league next year for sure. Which and they even got us at the bottom of the AFC South. I mean, not even close to the Colts, the Jags, or the Texans. So, once again, I could go all over the place with this rant. But once again, national media, you know how they go. But, I'm just kind of sitting back, man, and I'm wondering to myself, when are the Titans going to capitalize on some of these things, man? Go out and make a good trade for a good player, but not give up the house. Yeah, man. So look, y'all just let me know, man, if it makes sense to y'all, or am I crazy? Like, am I crazy? That I want the Titans to finally start, trying to make us think that they taking it serious about winning. Go out to some of these free agent guys, and go out to some of these guys that want to be traded, want new beginners. Man, let me know down in the comments, man. Hey, like the video, man. Subscribe to the page, man. And I'll be right back, man, with another one. I'm out.